The best 4 years of your life. That's how many people refer to the time you'll spend at college. College is your chance to take full advantage of your newfound independence, to drink, party, make new friends, and have some fun. Or, if you were a group of nerds attending MIT in 1977, to play text adventure games. Tim Anderson, Mark Blank, Bruce Daniels, and Dave Lebling were 4 MIT students who had an affinity for one text adventure in particular, Colossal Cave Adventure, which was really the only adventure game at the time. Its complex puzzles and clever programming inspired them to start work on a game of their own. Taking heavy influence from Colossal Cave's template, their game was more advanced, allowing for more nuance and complexity in user input. The game became a hit with the MIT campus before it was even finished, as the team found themselves with dozens of willing playtesters helping them find problem areas and encouraging them to continue adding more locations and more puzzles. Eventually, the game grew so large it had to be split into 3 separate releases, but each release was successful and formed the basis for the team's development company, Infocom, which would go on to completely dominate the text adventure scene over the course of the next decade. That first game was almost titled Dungeon, but the name was squashed to avoid potential legal troubles with Dungeons and Dragons. Instead, they reverted to the game's placeholder title, Zork. On today's show, we parse our language to discuss what is arguably the most important and influential text game ever published, and try not to get eaten by a grue while we do it. Activate Zork Mode! It's a video game podcast.
Wow!
And there's so much to discuss. One of us knows all about them.
That's you.
And the other one's a dunce.
That's me.
You're gonna learn about the very best games with 2 annoying dorks.
Fatality.
From asteroids to Zelda, from adventure to Zork. We have no life, and we feel no shame. We need your help, 'cause we're bad with games. Bad with games. You are listening to a podcast. My name is Jonathan.
My name is Will.
And we are Bad with Games.
Zork.
Zork.
That's our intro for today.
Zork.
Zork.
Zork. It's a Pokemon. Zork.
A lot of people have been expecting Zork since we put it in the opening theme.
Right. Yeah, this has been one of the most anticipated episodes so far.
Mm-hmm.
People have really been hankering for it.
Yeah, everybody wants some Zork.
Zork, of course, is a text adventure game, which was technically finished and playable in 1977, but I think the first real commercial release that was available on a wider scale was not until 1980. So choose whichever date you like best. And that's the focus of this week's episode. Before we get into it, I do just quickly want to say, thanks for listening. If you are listening to this as a podcast and you're curious about Zork gameplay, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. Of course, we're there under @BadWithGames. And you can find our secondary channel at Worse with Games. And you can get free updates for all of our content at patreon.com/badwithgames. However, we'll make the announcement right now.
Wait, we will?
Yeah, we will. It starts next week on our schedule.
Whoa.
I mean,
yeah, but like,
don't you think?
Right off the top, at the beginning of the episode, we haven't
Yeah,
even
we should just
Zorked
let
it
people
up
know. This is the pre-Zork.
yet. The pre-Zork.
Yeah, next week we're going to start our paid Patreon content.
Or paid Treon, you might say.
So I guess next week we'll go into more detail, because when you're listening to this episode right now, all that stuff won't be available yet. But we are going to start doing bonus Patreon episodes starting next week. So just stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say. We'll give you the full details next week.
Yeah, there's gonna be fun stuff on there. It'll be fun.
We're going to have a good time. We decided we're going to keep doing this forever. All right. Zork. Now, a few weeks ago, we played Colossal Cave Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, it's Zork. It's our second text adventure game. These games have a lot of DNA in common, which we'll discuss the specifics of. But this also, is this our first genre repeat? I think it technically might be.
That doesn't sound right.
I think it is. Unless you count like, Pac-Man and Zelda are both action games or something. Or like Zelda and Colossal Cave Adventure, well, they're both adventure games if you really want to stretch the definition of it. But in terms of being truly, obviously, closely related in the same family, Zork and Cave Adventure, those are the two for us.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, sure, this is very closely related to Cave Adventure.
It sure is. More than I realized before going into this.
Yes.
So
yeah, very reminiscent.
I mean, reminiscent is putting it lightly. Unfortunately
for
just
us, played Zork. Yeah. Tell me
unfortunately for us and our listeners, we already, in our Cave Adventure episode a month ago, we already discussed basically as thorough a history with text adventure games as we possibly could. And I don't know if there's going to be anything left for us to say about our backgrounds with this genre or this title before we get going.
I have one thing to say about this title. There is an associated meme with this title, an old ass meme, like before people were using the word meme, that I did not know where it came from, and now I do.
Yes. This is good because I had the same association in a similar way as with Cave Adventure, where I had heard the XYZZY thing mentioned as a sort of an Easter egg or a reference in other games, but I didn't really know what that was from. This game, of course, has, I assume you're referring to the grue.
Yes, I am. Eaten by a grue.
Do you have a recollection of where exactly you had heard that prior to playing this?
I have absolutely no idea, but it's multiple sources. Like, I heard it around. Like it's not even like, definitely there was one spot. Like, for sure, I heard it referenced in a number of different places.
I think it's just a thing dorks used to say on message boards.
That's that's gotta be it, right? Dorks.
I think that was just someone's signature on GameFAQs in 2001. And I just saw you've been eaten by a grue, and I thought nothing about it.
I mean, it seems like also the sort of thing, you know how dorks are, right? That like, if you're playing D&D or something, and maybe you're in the dungeon, maybe somebody as a joke, they say, "Oh, you were eaten by a grue," and then everybody laughs because they remember that from when they played Zork. And then, okay, we all have fun. We're having fun here, but you weren't really eaten by a grue. We can keep going.
That's right. I mean, I think we said this with Colossal Cave Adventure as well, but there is a sense of humor running through these games that is very reminiscent of the type of humor people who like Monty Python and the Holy Grail like.
Yes. The thing is, it's like a type, that you're a type of humor you're talking about. Cause like, the thing is, right, as much as Monty Python and the Holy Grail can have been ruined by people who ruined it, because they have that kind of sense of humor, it is still funny. I do think it holds up if you can.
I never said it wasn't funny.
Yeah, but like I think it holds up if you engage with it as a comedy and not as a collection of references to itself, which is how a lot of people view it.
Sure. All I know is the cake is a lie.
That's pretty funny.
Our numbers just went through the roof after I said that.
God, I love references to weird, esoteric, nerdy shit that only cool people like me have ever heard of. It's like I'm in a secret club.
Stay tuned for the end of this episode where I will reveal in which part of my body I took an arrow.
Hey, what about, have you ever heard of 42? You know what
Okay.
42 is?
Come on now, let's not give away all our secrets, okay? That's a little bit. I want to keep that kind of our thing.
I
don't want that getting out.
Immediately. I mean, I guess we're ready almost to move into our second royale here because our background's basically done, which is our cover art. But that in this case, that's going to also include the like full instruction manual. And I will say, immediately reading this instruction manual, I was like, strong Hitchhiker's Guide vibes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. British. That's our through line here with this sense of humor. The Brits.
Yeah, or at least people who liked that type of British humor.
Well, also it seems that I'm ignorant in many areas, so I could be wrong, but at this time there weren't genre stuff was mostly taken very seriously by the people who were making it. And it seems like the few examples where humor was injected into those worlds is what we already said, Hitchhiker's Guide and Monty Python. And there's something about that just lit up all the neurons in nerds' brains in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
and mine too when I was 12.
That is true. I feel like there is a lot more of that kind of like humor. It's just kind of everywhere now. Yeah, and so you can get like a more toned down version of it that's maybe like, oh, okay, that's like actually kind of funny and not just like, look at me, I did it, but wacky.
That's right. So, yes, we do have a cover art. I think I actually don't really know for sure. I guess this was the cover of the game when you bought it.
Sure.
It's the image I use in the intro, and it's the image that's, you'll find if you look up Zork. It's on the front of the instruction manual, so it's probably on the box too. I have to assume.
Yeah, why not?
It's a very simple art. If you're on YouTube, you'll see it. It's simply says Zork 1. We'll talk about that 1 in a second. Kind of as if it was written with stone, or I guess stone, right? Could be bricks. Yeah. Looks more like stone.
Sure. I'm not. What am I, a geologist?
And the O is an opening door with a lock with some light shining as if beckoning you inside.
Wow.
And on top is a tagline that says, "Your greatest challenge lies ahead and downwards."
Pretty
cool. What do
you
think about that tagline?
I don't think much about that tagline at all, but I do like the design of this kind of whatever Zork 1 logo, where it's like some kind of a structure, the locked barred door. I don't know, it's exciting. I can imagine a troll in there.
Yeah, it's very bare bones. It's very basic. It's a black background. It does look like someone sketched this in an afternoon. It doesn't look like a real cover to me. Well, it has a very 70s Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Not even Dungeons and Dragons though, because that I feel like even old Dungeons and Dragons art had more of a professional quality to it. I'm trying to think of what the comparison is. There's a board game called Escape from the Dark Castle.
Something
like a zine. Yeah.
Escape from the Dark Castle, huh?
It's a board game that has art that I know is inspired by kind of this era, but I don't know or the actual influences. So that's my only frame of reference. But it's this kind of, it looks like a sketch, but not necessarily in a negative way. It doesn't look bad. It just doesn't look polished. But there's something kind of cool about that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't. I'm not going to be able to argue with you on this. I don't mind that it doesn't look polished. I like that it's kind of goofy and bare bones and gimmicky. Like, I don't know, it's fun. I like it.
Kind of looks like Munchkin.
It does kind of look like Munchkin.
And of course, all these things are sort of part of the same family. I'm confused about, so this O is a door, and you can see there's this golden latch. The door was locked, and now it's being opened. But then there's another little golden latch thing on the K in Zork. I'm not sure what the purpose of that one is. Is there supposed to be another door there?
Now
What
that
is
I'm
that?
looking at it, the top ones have a texture to them that almost makes it look like it's wooden, like the side of a house. But then, like that, especially the top of that K, that's just a beam going back, right? But then they have the same texture on the R, and that's got like everything's cut in it like it would be if it was stone in an arch. Right, the one at the bottom is clearly some kind of stone or brick or something. Yeah, I don't quite know exactly what kind of wall we are looking at here. And so I don't quite know exactly what that latch is going to, but maybe some kind of secret passage.
I think we might win an award for this section of the podcast. This is good stuff. I think this tagline sucks.
Sure, that's a reasonable. Like I said, I don't think about it at all. So,
because it's your greatest challenge lies ahead. Okay, cool. And there's would you call that an M dash?
I don't know the difference.
Great. There's a hyphen of some kind. Your greatest challenge lies ahead. Hyphen and downwards. Now, the and downwards with the hyphen, it feels like there's a beat as if they're trying to say, okay, that's the normal part of the tagline. Your greatest challenge lies ahead, but get ready. And downwards. That's the mic drop. And it's not a punchline. It's not funny. And it's also not very exciting. I don't go, oh, down. I never thought about going down. I can't wait to play Zork. Just not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It doesn't quite work, does it? Yeah, it feels like downwards. It almost feels like there could be a pun here. Like if you worked it, it's like a head, but because like your head is up, but like down. But then it's not actually that, right? I'm trying to workshop this here.
It would work better as the tagline for Cave Adventure, because that's got cave in the title, and you're like, oh, I'm going underground. But Zork, you're just, I don't know, I guess I'm going down. I guess that's what I'll do. It's not exciting.
Downwards. Yeah, no, it is. And it doesn't quite make anything either, right? Like, ahead and downwards, I don't know. It's so odd, right? Like, it feels like downwards should somehow be modifying ahead in a way that's meaningful, other than just like, yes, and also down. You know what I mean? Like if you were playing Zork, right, and you might say like, okay, I could go north, or I could go east, or I could go northeast. If there was a path that went ahead, or a path that went ahead and down, and those were two separate things. But that's not a thing. It's not a thing in the game. It's not a thing in like regular speech. It's not anything. It's, you know what I mean? Like, there's no, the punch here doesn't change what came before. It's literally just the up, down. This is what you're saying, but
it's so gratifying to say something completely inane, but then you go off on it for a minute, like, oh,
right.
As if, it's all, you could almost believe that what I said had merit.
Right. That's basically this entire podcast.
Yeah, everyone listening is like, well, they're both talking about it. It must be meaningful somehow.
This is writing tips. We're teaching you how to write.
It's called yes and, kids. Anyway, do you think... well, okay, so... I not. It's hard to know where to start with this game because
Well,
there is this instruction
there
manual.
sure is this instruction manual, and I sent you a message on Discord when you sent me the link to this. It said like I could do 2 hours on this instruction manual.
So we will talk extensively about this manual. Don't
Uh huh.
worry.
Uh huh.
But and then there's the game itself and our just what is this game and how did we approach it, and especially in relation to Colossal Cave Adventure again, which this game in a sense came out the same year as that game.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's real. The people who made this game, they played Cave Adventure, and like 6 months later they said, "Here's Zork." That's basically what happened. It's
So
like the
yeah.
Beatles listening to Indian music. It was
Yeah, it's like okay, so you're
uh,
saying walk me through the timeline again. In 1977 there was technically a playable version of this, but then
yeah,
what?
they made it in on their college campus. This is in the little intro thing. And but they didn't have like a real a official published version you could buy in a store until 1980, which is when it was split up into 3 different releases. So initially there was just Zork, but because computer space was so limited at the time, and believe it or not, they couldn't fit they were worried about the space this text adventure would require.
Yeah, I believe
They
it.
split it up into 3 separate games, Zork 1, 2, and 3. Originally planned as just 2, but then they stretched it out into 3. And each one of those releases had more stuff added to it. It wasn't like they just chopped it up. They
Mhm.
did flesh them out. So they are more or less 3 separate games. And I think most of what was originally Zork is in Zork 1. And most of Zork 2 and 3 was stuff they added later. But yeah,
Yeah.
there wasn't a real retail release of any kind until 1980.
Okay, yeah, because this does track to me. This idea that like, okay, you've got some college nerds into computers in 1977. They see this colossal, some dude, some random guys like, I'm gonna fucking make this thing about a cave. Some college kids see it and go, shit, dude, why don't we make one of those? So they just basically start remaking it, right? Because at the
Mhm.
beginning of this, there are some. It's basically the same damn thing. And then they're like, "Okay, but let's keep going because 'cause we're young and we have energy and, I'm not some old dude whose wife and kids left him and I'm sitting alone sad. I'm hyped up. You know, I'm fucking having 20 orgasms a day, right? Like fucking
Whoa.
the point being that they're
Damn.
typing away at this and so
Zorkasms.
you have, within a semester, you have a pretty big Zork. And then, as you said,
Yeah, you do.
eventually, eventually you sort of Zork it up into 3 Zorks and then expand those Zorks. But yeah, this timeline makes sense to me.
Yeah, I really want the social network style
Mm.
movie about the development of Zork.
Oh, hell yes. I
Don't you
want
think that would
this.
rule?
That would rule. Oh my god.
The interpersonal drama with Trent Reznor's score, and they're like setting things on fire over Zork programming. And then I guess Colossal Cave Adventure, maybe in this version we make it up, they're suing them for ripping it off. And he's
Mm.
like, if you were the inventors of Zork, you would have invented Zork. And he's like, let's call it the Zork. Drop the, it's cleaner. It would be really good.
This sounds really good. Let's make this.
Yeah.
It'll be on the
So
Patreon.
I assume I did not I did not dip my toes at all into Zork 2 or 3.
Mm-mm.
I assume
Mm-mm.
you also stuck to just 1.
Yes, I did stick to just one. I'm gonna just say right at the front here, I think I'm feeling a little bit of video game fatigue.
Huh.
I
It's a little early in the show for
I
that. I
know
mean,
it's a little
we
early
announced a
in the show.
Patreon.
Yeah. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. But
Huh.
it's not
Uh-oh.
gonna be a problem. But like, yeah, this was
Uh-oh.
definitely a thing where I was just like, I feel like I should have got farther in Zork than I did, but also I didn't start it for too late because I was just like, I don't want to do a new game already. I'm gonna have to get on top of that for later games, but made it a
Well,
decent way.
maybe maybe you're in kind of a rut with our,
Hmm.
we neither of us really liked Sim City. You loved Final Fantasy, but it's a kind of a
It's a
slog to
draining,
play
yeah.
through. You weren't a fan of Space Invaders. Cave Adventure was sort of a mixed bag. So maybe it's just been kind of a rough selection as of late.
Maybe it has. Maybe it has. Yeah. Uh, but no, I did not get to Zork 2 or Zork 3, and I think there's still a reasonable looking. So there is also a guide, like a hint book that came with this.
I don't know if
And
it came with it. I
or
think
yeah,
that's
you could
maybe was
buy
a
it.
separate purchase. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, in the manual there was like you can order in for a hint book or something.
Mhm.
And so I did look at that hint book. Um Now, helpfully, they did kind of obfuscate the actual hints. So at the beginning of the book, they give like a list of like, oh, this might be a question you have, and then the answers are here, and then they like intersperse all the letters with cues, so you have to like try to read the answer. So for the most part, except for
So
one
annoying.
section, which I will talk about. I mean, I did like this though, because what it let me do was kind of like glaze my eyes past the questions and be like, do I know what that question means? Yes, then I'm on the right track.
Mm.
No, then I guess I should probably be looking for something like that. You know what I mean? And at no point do I actually get any answers.
Right. I mean, this is there. I wish I looked and I couldn't find a modern transcription of this
Hmm.
text because what I would have loved is just the modern version of this, which would just be, like spoiler blocking the text and you can click on it to reveal what you want to know.
Right, because it would be online.
Right. There is a website that I have made extensive use of for adventure games called Universal Hint System,
Mm.
which is basically this same idea. They maybe got this idea from books like this from the past, where there's different sections, and you're like, okay, I know I'm here. I click this. Oh yeah, this is my problem. Give me the hints for this, and then even better in there, there's layers to the hints. So it'll start with just a little hint, and then it's like, okay, you need a little more. Click the next level of hint.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool that they had this. I personally was a little bit too lazy to try to. I just saw all these cues and I was like, ah, man,
Well,
I don't
I'll
know.
I'll tell you, I got completely stuck at one point, and I think I might have soft locked myself and had to restart the game. So I did, in fact, read a lot of hints surrounding that section just to be like, why,
Mm,
what the fuck is going on? And I even looked it up online because I was like, according to these hints, it looks like I might have soft locked myself. And so I looked it
mm-hmm.
up online and I was like, I don't see anybody else talking about having this problem. I eventually did reset, but that was around the point where I was like, I did that. I came back. I got to the point I was at very, very, very quickly, and then it was not immediately clear the next thing that I should be doing, and so I wandered around for a while and didn't make much progress past that, and was like, all right, I think I might be done with this for now. And again, one of these instances where if I had done that first thing in the week, I might have come back several days later and banged my head against it, but I didn't because I was feeling tired.
Yeah, I think what we're learning here is that you're just not really very good
No, I'm not.
with games.
Yeah, I'm not. That's the name of the show. But yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
see.
it's fine. You need to have room to improve, otherwise the show's over.
Yeah. Now I will say this: I did make a map this time,
Oh, I love that.
an actual physical map. I think if you see my footage, there is a point where I'm wandering around for quite some time and I'm doing fine, and then I get into a series of rooms and like three rooms in a row are listed with like five exits, and I just type in like I need to make a map. Like I'm not this is not happening anymore. I can't keep track of all this mentally.
I was making a map from the beginning. I'm a map boy.
Hmm. Hmm.
I love making my little map. I think it's a lot of fun. A lot of my areas I didn't quite like. I don't always map it out 100%, but I map it out enough where I'm like, okay, I know this area and this room are close to each other. Was this like did I have to go northeast and then southeast? Why is it taking me here? But it's close enough that I can look at my map and figure it out.
Hmm.
Like in the very beginning, you have to go around to the back of a house, and I still don't know exactly my map. I'm like, forest, forest.
Hmm.
I don't know. If I just kind of keep spamming directions, I get
Hmm.
there eventually.
Okay, that one I did know just naturally. So that is the east side of the house. I did not make a map of anything up there. So if you are at the house and you say go east, you'll end up there.
You have to go north of house though to get in the. I thought, or do you, or is it?
No, north of how
Are you sure?
you come you if you're up by the bird, then you come down from the north, but you enter the house from the east.
Hmm. Sure. I don't remember.
That was the part I didn't do any of that overworld stuff in a map, so
Yeah. Well, at any rate, I I'm better than you in
hmm.
many ways. But we'll talk about exactly how far we got into this game and how far you can get into this game and what's worth getting into it.
Hmm.
Zork. Now, as we said, this game is really very reminiscent of Colossal Cave Adventure to the point where you have to kind of wonder, is it worth playing both of these games?
Right.
But I think I think that is going to make for an interesting discussion. I think that's worth talking about, and the fact that it's so similar. But what are the improvements? Are there areas where it is lacking compared to Cave Adventure? And again, having such a direct comparison between two games of this same genre is not something we have done yet.
Hmm.
So we're going to see where that journey takes us. Do you want to talk about the instruction manual first? Because the truth is,
Yeah.
this instruction manual has very little to do with the game itself.
And we can probably end with the instruction manual. We can get the game out of the way first here.
Okay,
And I did
great.
actually, I just took a picture of my map with my phone and sent it to you, although it appears to have not
Mm-hmm,
rotated
mm-hmm.
properly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at this. I can put yours and I can put mine in as well. And yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of similarities, which makes sense since we're mapping the
Yeah,
same
you would
things.
assume. And I
You
believe
would definitely assume.
I believe one thing that the main thing that's going to be different here is that I actually started this map in the round room because that is the point at which I
Mm,
said, "Okay, nope, nope, can't do it. Can't do it by memory anymore. I give up.
no,
Got to make a map."
no, you can't.
So
I
that's
like that it
yeah.
crushed your rebellious spirit.
I was going to just totally figure it all out.
Do work. Get a pen and paper.
I'm doing
You
mental
lazy
work. I'm
shit.
remembering how to
No,
get places.
no. You need to do some physical labor.
There were one or two times where I started moving through the map by typing letters while looking at the map and not the screen, and then I like must have put one in wrong because I look up and I'm like, "Huh, I'm not where I thought I was."
Yeah. Well, let's talk about so the premise of Zork.
Hmm.
If again, if you've heard our cave adventure episode, you're going to be familiar with this, but you are basically tasked with going into an underground labyrinth, a dungeon of some kind that's very large and complex, finding a bunch of different rooms, and hidden within behind various puzzles are treasures. And you need to collect those treasures, bring them back up to this trophy case in a house above ground, and the better you do, the more you find, the higher your score is.
Hmm.
The big differences between Zork and Cave Adventure, I would say, really the primary one is that it simply accepts and understands more language from you.
Hmm.
It's not as much of a struggle to hunt for the text that the game will recognize for you to be able to do things. And most rooms have more descriptions that are at least vaguely helpful and not
Hmm.
just, I don't know, here's a room. Okay, bye. Be on your merry way. For example, one of our biggest complaints with Colossal Cave Adventure was the fact that without reading the help guide or somewhere else and figuring it out, the game itself did not actually tell you there was a trophy case in the room and that you needed to put things in it. Zork
Right.
does say there is a trophy case. I don't know if it explicitly says put stuff in it, but it feels pretty much more obvious
Yeah,
in this
also
game.
it does say in the manual like that the
Mhm.
goal is to put things in the trophy case. I will also say though, this being more fleshed out and there being more of it, right off the bat, I was thinking like, okay, obviously they did a trophy case because Colossal Cave Adventure did a trophy case. And so that like the very first thing that they did was okay, like you're going to go exploring underground. So the first thing you do is you start off in a forest by a house and there's a trophy case in the house, right? Like this is kind of what I was thinking with like I think they literally started off by just recreating Colossal Cave Adventure for fun. And then from there it
Hmm.
grew into Zork. It grew into Zork. Um but
Isn't it? Isn't it just hilarious that at this time, because there really just was Colossal
yeah.
Cave Adventure.
Yeah.
So it's like, in platformers, you jump over pits. In
Yeah.
shooters, you shoot aliens. And what do you do in adventure games? You go in a cave and find treasures.
Yeah.
Like they
You put
just
them in a
thought
trophy
that's what the
case.
genre is.
And
Yeah.
and here's the and I can see the cave thing because it lends itself well to like directions and passages, right? Like there's an
Yes, and
explicit
darkness.
way you can go. Yeah, so like yeah, it makes environmental sense. The
Hmm.
trophy case though, by the time we got to this game here, I was kind of thinking like I don't I'll put stuff in the trophy case, I guess. But like I don't care that much about the score, since I know that the score is literally just find the treasure, bring it to the trophy case. I'm more interested in exploring the area, mapping it out, adventuring it, how to figure out how to get to the next part, right? Um I don't I don't know that text adventures really became a thing hugely since we're not playing that many more. But like I do think that this could be the idea of the trophy case to me could hamper the genre if it becomes a staple too quickly. Like that's just what you do. You find a thing and you bring it to the trophy case. Because that part is kind of boring to me. The idea that you're bringing it to the trophy case and putting it there. It's like I'm this is not some three-dimensional game where you can see stuff, right? So I get to sit there and admire my trophy case. Wow, all this it's just like, okay, I found it. Cool. Now I get to backtrack. Like the fun part was exploring and finding it, right? I did that. You know what I mean?
You need to make number get big.
I just don't care.
Feel good. Number get big, feel good.
um
It's just a little satisfying to be
sure.
like,
But
for
like
me it's not just about the number, it's more like
yeah,
it's in its place. I did
right.
my job. I don't have to carry it around
Mhm.
anymore. There it is. That looks
I mean,
nice.
I would rather just be like, you solved the puzzle and found the treasure. Cool. So now you get the points. I guess you could put it in the trophy case. I don't care
Yeah,
about
I
putting it
mean
in the trophy case. Listen,
I
if I actually like finished this game and completed it, I would probably be like, okay, got to get everything to the trophy case for the full points. But here it's just like, I'm not going to get full points anyway. The question is, how much did I like figure out?
I largely agree with you in the sense that modern adventure games no
Hmm.
longer have this conceit.
Yeah.
I don't think we're not better off. I don't think we're worse off for having lost this.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't
But
think
in the
it's a
context of the game,
Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
it's a disaster in the game. I just mean like if this trophy case had become a staple of the genre, the way that like jump on enemy to
Mhm.
kill it is a platforming staple. I like if it was just like no, what you do in adventure games is find things and bring them to the trophy case. I would not I would not be half as excited about the idea of playing more things in this genre, as I would if it was just like the point of adventure games is find things. Right.
It is so funny and strange how that almost just became what this genre was, or there's another universe where maybe it could have
Mm.
gone that direction. I think Infocom themselves, they perpetuated it here in Zork, but I think they also stopped it because they, of course, made a bunch of other text adventures which didn't follow this pattern.
Hmm.
So, uh, which they might have done. Oddly, talking about it right now, the closest modern equivalent I'm realizing that it feels like the most to me is Dark Souls or Souls-like games, which I assume you have zero experience
Yeah,
with,
so
but
so this
maybe.
is like the Dark Souls of text adventures, is
Okay.
what you're saying.
But
What do
in
you
the
mean
sense that,
experience? Do you mean I've
well,
played them? No.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
But the specifically what I mean is in a Souls like one of the biggest mechanics is that when you die, your whatever your currency is, your money, your experience points, whatever, you lose it.
Hmm.
And to get it back, you have to travel back to where you died
Hmm.
and get it, or sometimes you have to kill the enemy that took it from you in order to get it back.
Hmm.
So there's this risk, there's this impending danger of losing your progress up to that point, and that's sort of how I feel bringing my treasure back to the treasure case is like, okay, I've got this thing, I've got my inventory, I might drop it, I might get lost, the thief might steal it from me. I got to get back to my base, my safe zone,
Hmm.
and put it away. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Hadn't thought about that connection before, but I do think there's something
I,
there.
I could see that, but it is. I feel like I would either need to be getting something more than number for having it. Like if it was like, oh, if you bring this thing back to the trophy case, it unlocks another section of the game, but that you didn't already have. Then I would feel that way.
Well, I don't know for sure. Maybe I'm making this up completely, but don't you think that like to finish the game and unlock the actual ending, you do have to do that?
Probably for like everything you do. I think that's probably true, but like that's at the end. You know what I mean? I didn't
You're
get
not going to
there.
get there.
I mean, maybe if I got there, I would feel differently. But like just playing through the game, I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm not that excited to, you know what I mean? Like I'm not sitting here like,
Hmm.
ooh, I could have, you know, I finished half the game, so I could have half the points, but I don't because I didn't bring them to the trophy case. It's like, I finished half the game, whatever.
This is the problem with you kids today. You want a participation trophy for everything. You
Hmm.
want the game to reach out and pat you on the head and say, "Good boy, here's a little piece of candy." You should be doing it just
I
for the
think
love
it's
of
the
the game.
opposite. I think it's the opposite. I'm happy to have just found the thing. You're over here like, but I found it. I want number go big. Give me trophy for find.
I gotta make your fucking number go big, bitch.
Hell yeah, you will.
Strangely, I think the actual best way to play this game, which is the opposite of how I would normally approach any video game,
Hmm.
and I think this is probably true of Cave Adventure, might be true of many text adventures, is to kind of the first time you play it, maybe even the first several times you play it, you're really just figuring everything out.
Hmm.
And you shouldn't really think about, oh, where do I go next to complete the game and make sure I do this and do that, because it's inevitable that you're going to make a mistake, you're going to lose an item, you're going to go the wrong way, you're going to get stuck in a room, you're going to have to start over. So instead, you just should kind of go through mapping it out and figuring out, okay, this treasure's here, this treasure's here. Okay, I figured this puzzle out. okay, I died, whatever.
Mhm.
And then eventually it's like Groundhog Day. By your
Mhm.
20th playthrough, now you look at your map and you just go, okay, I go northeast, south, north,
Yeah.
north, get this, get that, back to the treasure room, and like
Yeah.
that's when you actually beat it, is at the very end.
Right. Yeah. No, no, 100%. I would agree with that. Like most of what I'm enjoying about playing it is exploring it, is basically saying I explore right up until I find a puzzle and then I try the easy solutions. If those don't work, I say, all right, I'll leave that and go explore elsewhere. And then once I feel like I'm locked on all sides, it's like, all right, now I can go try to figure out this particular puzzle type of thing.
I will say I found it a little more annoying in this game. In Cave Adventure, you had a couple rooms with magic words where you
Mm,
could teleport back to your safe zone. Now, I do believe you'll unlock more shortcuts as the game progresses, but initially the only way back up is through this chimney, at least I think that I found.
mm,
And you need to drop a bunch of items to go up and down the chimney, which I thought was really annoying, or you just
mhm.
up it. I don't even think you can go down it.
No, you can't.
Um,
I tried very hard. If you try to go down the chimney, because it took me a while to figure out how the hell to actually get down. Like I found all the ways down, and I was like, okay, but I don't appear to be able to get down. And so when you try to go down the chimney, it says you're not Santa Claus. Only Santa Claus can go down chimneys. I did try to be Santa Claus.
yeah, I did that too. I typed in kill Tim Allen.
Mm. I didn't try that one.
Um, Now, if you weren't bringing stuff to the trophy case at all, were you just dropping it where you were? Because it does take up inventory space.
I mean, yeah, for the most part, I was just hoarding it in rooms. I don't know that I found much in the way of that I would consider treasure. Like, I don't know. Do you get points for literally everything, or is it only like I don't know?
I assume it's just treasure. The treasures that I found
Hmm.
that I actually got to in my playthrough
Hmm.
were there's an egg, although I believe you need to open this egg, and I didn't do that.
Okay, so that egg I did find, and I put it in the trophy case because it's out in the forest. I also, on my first playthrough, did open it, but I think I might have broken
Whoa.
it. Like, I think I wasn't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
supposed to. So when I soft locked myself later and restarted, I just didn't open it. I was like, I'll figure that out later. I can always do the same thing if it comes to it.
Yes. Yeah, there is another way to open it without breaking it.
That's what I figured. I don't, maybe I didn't break it. I don't know. I opened it. There was a thing inside of it. It seemed like the thing wasn't working. And I was like, maybe it's supposed to just work, or maybe I'm supposed to be able to fix it, or maybe I just
I
broke
mean,
it and I'm fucked. I don't
I'm
know.
just gonna I'm just gonna tell you full spoilers for
Uh
puzzle
huh.
solutions in
Uh
Zork.
huh.
I glanced at a walkthrough,
Hmm.
um, kind of like after I was done playing, pretty much before recording, just to see what there was. I really just wanted hints, and I ended up just reading a thing that was just telling you what to do, and then I
Hmm.
just couldn't stop myself reading some of it. And this thing said you are supposed to drop the egg in the cellar, and the thief will pick it up and later open it for you. That is how you're supposed to open the egg.
So that is weird as fuck because, okay, so
What?
the egg is in, it's not underground. And it's
Right.
obviously a treasure. It's got jewels and stuff on it.
Uh
So
huh.
you would put it in the trophy case. You wouldn't bring it underground with you. So I feel like this is not a thing you would ever organically figure out.
I don't know. Maybe there's a hint later
That could
somehow.
be. That could be.
I don't know. But this guide was just like, here's just everything you do to be efficient.
Hmm.
um, so there's that. I also found trying to think because there's a couple. I mean, I'm pretty sure I probably found all the ones you found. They were like the
I
obvious ones
I don't
in the
know. I
early
didn't find
areas.
that much. Like I feel like I explored out an area and then just like couldn't. I feel like I barely solved puzzles in this game. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, well, there was a painting. There was a fine art painting. Did you
Okay.
grab that?
Okay. Okay. The first playthrough I grabbed that painting. And I think I
Uh
didn't
huh.
bother to bring it up to the trophy case. The second
Yeah.
playthrough, I ran right to
Hmm.
that room. They were like, there's a
Yep.
painting on the wall. I said,
Yep.
take the painting. It said, there's no painting here. And I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
know how that happened, because the first time it was not a
Right.
problem.
Right. So my understanding is that the thief will sometimes randomly take and move stuff
But
in the dungeon,
but, like,
and I
while
think
I'm in the room,
yeah, I think
like,
it
I
can
walked
just
in the room for
happen.
the first time because I
Yeah,
restarted the game from the beginning, and it said,
yeah,
"There's a painting here," and the first thing I said was, "Take the
yeah.
painting."
Right. Well, it was gone. You should have taken it faster.
Alright, fine. Whatever.
So there's the painting. I also found I believe it was a platinum bar,
I did find that.
but you didn't figure out how to take it.
No, that was one of the things that I got to and looked at and played around with a little bit and then was like, "I'll explore every single nook and cranny before I come back and really bang my head against this one."
Oh, and there's also I don't know if I actually put it in the case. I assume it's a trophy. I found a bag of coins. Maybe it's not
I
treasure,
don't think I
but I
found
found a
that.
bag of coins. Okay, so why don't we talk about this platinum bar, because one of the things that's kind of cool about Zork
Mhm.
is that there are puzzles with multiple solutions.
Hmm.
And I found the solution to this one just fucking around, and then didn't realize until I read online later that there was another solution to it. But so the platinum bar is in a room called the Loud Room,
Mhm.
where everything is loud and you like can't hear what you're doing. And if you try to take the
Yeah.
bar, it just echoes back
It
at you.
echoes back at me. So I had some ideas of what I might try to do, but I didn't really test out that much.
Do you want to say any of them?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you want to spoil Zork here or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna spoil it.
All right, spoil it for me.
Well, so there's the water. I think it says this the sound of the water rushing by that makes it so loud.
Mhm.
And nearby there's a dam,
Mhm.
and there's a control panel at the dam.
Mhm.
And one way you can do this is by figuring that out and changing the water so that it's quieter in there. I
Hmm.
didn't even get close to figuring out how to use these controls with the dam.
Interesting.
Uh,
I made the dam do something because, well, I'll get into that. But I did make the dam do something and I figured I was done with the dam, but then I went to the loud room afterwards and I think I still had that problem. So I
Yeah, so
clearly didn't do the right thing.
I don't know. I didn't figure it out. I just did my first instinct. I was in there. I pressed take. I said take bar, and it was like bar bar, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, there's like an echo in here. Well, what do you do in real life when you're in a room with an echo? You
Mhm.
go echo, echo, echo.
Mm.
I just typed echo, and if you do that, it eliminates the sound, and you can take the bar.
Interesting. Oh, I did that one. Did not did not think. I was thinking about trying to do some kind of word game where I make the echo give the command. Like it only does the last word. But like for example, if I said like it take, it might say it take, and in the middle it says take it or something. You know what I mean? So I was thinking like maybe there's something like this I can do, but I didn't feel like playing around with it. So.
I think there are a lot of puzzles in this game that are very reminiscent of the cave adventure with the kill the
Mhm.
dragon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's another one. I tried to find this freaking room. Did you ever find the Cyclops?
No, I saw it. So I saw questions about the Cyclops, and they were under the maze heading. I did
Yeah.
map out the maze, but it kind of looked like it just didn't go anywhere. I thought I tried everything, was like, all right, I think I've got every room in this maze, but it doesn't seem to
Yeah,
have anything or go anywhere.
I was pretty proud of myself. I did map the maze out well enough to find the room with the skeleton.
I- what
The-
was I missing? Because I feel like I very quickly was just like, well, I've gone everywhere in every room, and there aren't that many rooms, and I've figured out every direction, and there's nothing in here. So like, what did I miss? And it's not like I
Can
ever
I
got lost. I could just navigate perfectly.
can venture a guess. Did you forget to go up and down?
Maybe I didn't go up and down in every room. And at least I think I did at first forget that, and then I tried it and it didn't get me anywhere. So maybe some rooms I didn't go up and down in.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
skeleton room was an up.
From some room I didn't go up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
After after that, I did I got just lazy and bored of mapping it, so I didn't find any other rooms. I do think there's at least the Cyclops is in there. There might be one or two other ones too.
Yeah,
Um,
there is an unlabeled map in the guidebook that I did
mm,
kind of glance at a couple times just to see if my map was sort of following it. And I did notice there are multiple rooms in the direction of that maze room. So I was like, clearly there's something in that maze room I'm missing, but I don't really know what I'm doing wrong.
well, I'm gonna spoil the Cyclops room for you too.
Whatever.
um, now there
You just
again,
didn't make it
there's
so I'll never play this, I guess.
yeah. Give me a break, like you were gonna.
Yeah.
Come on. Don't fucking give me that. There's two solutions to this puzzle. One of them is I don't remember. It's like more complicated. The easiest one is there's a Cyclops. I don't even know what's guarding something. I don't even know what it's there for. But to get past it, you can just type Odysseus and it gets scared and leaves. I mean, why would you ever think to do that? Except that if you look in the hint book, they do
Yes.
have a list of keywords, and
Yeah.
what does show
And
Odysseus?
that's one of the keywords you could use. Yeah.
But I mean, stuff like that, that's
Mhm.
ridiculous. In the skeleton room, there's a skeleton. He has a skeleton key and a bag of coins and a couple other things. And if you do anything to the skeleton, like basically anything at all, it says that the spirit of the skeleton comes out and curses you and makes it so all your valuables go to the land of the living or something, which I believe means that for the rest of the game, any treasure you pick up disappears immediately and you have to start over. I did that once.
That's pretty funny.
Stuff like that is a lot of fun. I don't know what else did you discover that was memorable
All right, so the
that we.
place that I like locked myself. Okay. There's a room, right? There is a maintenance room for a dam. Or at least I think I locked myself. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's a series of buttons in it and there's also some stuff. And if you press the blue button, the room starts flooding. Okay. In this room, there's also a yellow and a brown button, and one of them like turns on the control panel, and one of them turns off the control panel.
I don't know that I found these buttons. Was I just not paying attention, or did I
Hmm.
skip this room?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I did find, but anyway, so I'm in this room. I press the blue button, it starts flooding. Now, you pick up a tube in there. It says it seems like it's a tube of toothpaste, but when I had earlier just scrolled through, I remembered seeing a sentence that was like, "Is it really toothpaste?" So I was like, "All right, I'll look at it." And they were like, "It's like, oh no, it's actually magic fix all gunk." And I was like, "Okay, I can probably fix the leak with this." So I try to fix the leak, and I can't fucking do it. It's just like, nope, don't know what gunk is. You don't have any gunk. And I'm like, use the fucking fix all gunk. It's not working. The room is flooding. So I'm like, fuck it. Let me just press all the buttons and then leave. I press the yellow button. It just says click. I'm like, okay. I press the brown button. It just says click. And then I drown and I'm dead.
Wait, did you try just calling it toothpaste?
I did, yes.
Okay.
So the actual answer was that I needed to open the tube. Turns out. But anyway,
You fucking moron.
the point is that okay, fine. When you die, it doesn't just kill you; it resets you. So I think, okay, I died before once, and I reset, and that wasn't a big deal. I could just come back and do it again. I wasn't soft locked. So I come back to this room, and I want to go in the room, and it's like room's flooded. You can't go in there. And I'm like, well, I did get all of the items out of there and I did press all of the buttons. Maybe I don't need to go back in that room. Um, when I'm looking through the hints, it says, okay, the yellow button activates a control panel for the dam. Okay, cool. The brown button deactivates it. Oh, so I pressed both and it's deactivated and I can't use it. Okay, can I get back in the room? Can I drain the room? Can I do anything? I think I need to activate that control panel to go any further. Okay. And so at this point, like I had bashed my head against this for so long. I did in fact read all of the hints in the section. At no point did it say like what happens if the room is flooded. It was just like, no, no, you just press these buttons. What happens if it leaks? Just fix it. Um, I eventually went looking online and was like, if this room is flooded, am I soft locked? And everyone was just like, oh, use the glue to fix the leak so it doesn't get flooded. And I was like, okay, so am I soft locked or what? Eventually, I did restart the game because I think I did soft lock myself. And then having read that that activates the control panel, I then was able to go use the control panel to do the next thing, which it feels like opened a new area, but then I didn't find the new area and I kind of wandered around for a bit and I was like, all right, fine. I probably missed something really obvious, but like having bashed my head into what I think was a soft lock, but never even confirmed. And then I looked up all of the things in the manual, and then I still couldn't progress and would have had to look up another hint. It was kind of just demoralizing. Like, all right, fuck it. I guess I'm done. Like, I would just have to be reading hints the whole way, maybe. I don't know. That's probably not true, but I did kind of lose motivation.
I feel like this exact same thing happened to you with Cave Adventure.
I think it
That
did, yeah.
there's just you get annoyed by one puzzle and then you just go, well, fuck it then, fuck you.
Well, here's the thing.
Stop.
I did go try the maze and I thought I mapped the whole thing out, right? And I was just done. The platinum bar was just like, I just got to figure out how to get it, but maybe there's a tool behind something else. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I guess maybe I just needed another like time off. Like that's really the thing. It's like, okay, I spent forever bashing my head against this puzzle. Eventually I got through it. Now I need a break. Maybe if I had like 2 or 3 days.
It's what we played Cave Adventure first. Like you should have been primed for this. That was your prep where you learned from that game.
What would I learn? What am I learning?
That it's better to have time to be able to go, okay, let me
All
take
right.
a break and step away and come back.
Well,
We
then I
had
didn't
this
do that
exact
because
thing.
I was tired of playing games. I wanted a
You're
break.
supposed to learn the damn lessons. We basically had
The lesson is
prep.
it feels like the lesson you want me to learn is don't get tired, but I was tired and I didn't want to start the next
No,
game.
the lesson is start early enough so that when you're
Yeah,
tired,
and
you
I
take a
didn't
break
want
and
to
come
do
back
that
fresh.
because I was tired
Well,
because we already played these other games and I wanted a break.
no one's on your side. No one's listening to this is sympathetic to what you're saying right now.
Well,
This
guess
is
what?
not a
I'm going to
valid
keep getting
defense.
frustrated with games and be like, all right, I stopped. Now, that being said, I did, because here's the thing, I didn't stop. Like, after that, I did go around exploring to try to figure out if there was anything that I could figure out easy, and there kind of just wasn't. Like, I dead-ended
I'm going to say
everywhere.
this.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I think more so your problem isn't that you stopped, it's that you didn't stop early enough. Like, you should have just said, well, I don't know what this puzzle is. I'm going to give up and come back. The reason that you got demoralized is because you spent so long trying to do one thing when the answer might have been, well, you just can't do it.
So the answer would have been restart the game, but it felt like I could
just start over.
I didn't want to start over if I didn't have to.
Right. I understand. I'm just telling you, I think, maybe you couldn't have known this at the time. This is more of a hindsight thing. But like, I do think that maybe that was the problem. Like the same thing, like when I went through the maze for a bit and then I was like, well, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not going to, if I just keep going around this maze, I'll go crazy. So I'm going to do something else.
Yeah, that's what I did.
All right.
I did do that. I did that with most of the puzzles, but I do feel like I didn't really solve any puzzles because I didn't quite get through the maze. I couldn't figure out how to get into Hades. Didn't figure out the platinum bar. There's a dome you're supposed to get down, which I probably would have if I hadn't already dead-ended on all of these other puzzles. Like, really, it was just the fact that I didn't know whether or not I was soft locked. I think if the game had just said you're dead, start over from the beginning, that I would have not had this problem at all because I just would have gone in and done it differently the next time. Like I probably
don't
would have
blame you entirely. I don't think this is wholly your fault.
It sounds
I
like you
do.
do.
No, well, I just think your attitude is wrong. I think your
Hmm.
conclusions are right. I just think how you got them, you went about
Hmm.
it the wrong way.
I don't know that I think that you just like being critical. You just hear me complaining about a video game and you're like, he must be wrong.
No, well, the part I don't like is when you're like, well, you're like the kid who waited till the last minute to do his fucking homework. That's the part I
All
don't
right,
like.
sure. Well, guess what? Guess
Yeah,
what?
that's
I
the
need like a
yeah.
game. What I need to do is I
There's a
need
reason
like
you have the dunce cap in the cover
I
art.
need like a week or two off so that I can say, "Ooh, new game! I'm excited." Because this is I did start off this week like I'm excited for Zork, and then I was like, "Yeah, but I just played SimCity and I'm tired and I don't want to do it."
You didn't even play SimCity that much.
No, I didn't. But like this is the thing. A new game every week. I just played a new game last week. It's exhausting. I don't want to.
Well, look forward to our Patreon starting next week.
Listen, I'm gonna keep doing it, but like you're just gonna have to deal with that. Like if you're
I
just
think
gonna
what you
get
need is Adderall, it sounds like. Can we get some? I mean, I could use some too. How much what's the Patreon tier to get us Adderall?
You just got to
Listen,
deal with this.
I mean, okay. This aside, I'm going to try to just move past this right now. I deeply disapprove of your behavior. Like I said, it's your behavior that's wrong. The game, I understand why it can also be frustrating. I do think it's a strange quirk of this game that what is or isn't a puzzle is not always clear, and the types of puzzles vary so much. Like the thing with the bar, I literally just typed a word and got a thing. I don't know that I even really internalized it as a puzzle because I was like, I don't know, a thing worked. I got a thing. And sometimes a puzzle is you need an item, but because it's all text-based and because it's so cryptic, it's hard to know. Now, you're talking about this room with the dome. I only know this because, again, I read it after the fact. But you get a rope early on. If you tie a rope to this railing, you can just climb down.
I figured that. I tried using the rope to go down, but it didn't work. And I was like, you definitely somehow use the rope. But I didn't tie rope to railing was not one of the things I tried. I mean, this is the other problem is that sometimes I will just try a bunch of iterations on a thing and it doesn't get me anywhere. And I'm like, I guess that's not the solution to the puzzle. And it's like, no, it was. You just didn't try enough iterations on the word.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't figure out what I tied it to, you know?
They do say if you try something and you're not getting results, that's probably not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean the problem is that's not true. That's true if it doesn't know what the words mean or something. But yeah, 100%, it's not true if you try something and you don't get results. That's not what you're supposed to do.
But I do think this is an example where, in my mind, tying a rope to climb down, that shouldn't be a puzzle. That's just a way you traverse. You know, that's not.
Yeah, well, but for this game, it is a puzzle because you're just you go down.
Yeah.
And how do you get down? I don't know. It says you can't. So you need to be I have the rope. But then you say, I use the rope to go down. I don't know what that means.
Right.
The rope doesn't go down. Okay, how do I make the rope go down?
Right?
That is a puzzle. No question that's a puzzle.
I just think the structure of it is too inconsistent where sometimes, again, a puzzle is, learn a magic word or operate a control panel. Obviously, okay, there's a control panel. That's clearly big block letters, puzzle, red alert, puzzle, versus you tie a rope and go down. It's something that's so straightforward in real life. If this weren't a text adventure game is basically, I guess, what I'm trying to think of. You wouldn't go, how do we solve the mystery of climb down? You would just be like, well, I just fucking climbed down. Versus, oh, there's a weird contraption with buttons. I need to solve that. And I guess I just wish the game, I think it could be clearer in indicating, like, I didn't really even understand that you could, I never even tried anything with the rope. I never went, oh,
Mm.
I can go down there. I was like, huh, there's a dome. Okay.
Y-
Like,
Yeah, I had
and I
tried the
left.
rope in a number of other places. Like, I mean, here's the real difference between because I think there would still be kind of a puzzle, even if because in real life, you might be able to say, like, it's like, okay, to use the rope to climb anywhere, right? You have to have something to kind of like hook it over. So there's a ramp at one point, and I was like, do I think I can use the rope to climb the ramp? Like, in theory, I could throw the rope around something and then just like hoist myself up on it. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. And that's because I didn't attach the rope to anything. And in the dome, it's like, can I use the rope to go down? No, because I didn't attach the rope to anything. But the difference is that the ramp doesn't have anything to attach the rope to. It doesn't describe anything. But there it used the word railing. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
there is still like you can't use the rope to go up and down everywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole issue with this inventory system that I
Hmm.
just find so annoying, that you can carry like 6 things at a time
Yeah.
and you have no idea what's going to be useful or when. And I kind of hate the opening, just like Cave Adventure, where you go into the house and they're like, here's a bunch of shit. And my training is on modern adventure
Yeah.
games where the philosophy is you just pick everything up, of course.
Hmm.
And here it's like, oh, well, you're burdened, but then I don't want to drop something because what if I forget where it is? And what if it gets stolen? It feels so wrong to just leave it behind, even though I think that is basically just what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. But so it was like, okay, there's a rope, but I might end up carrying this fucking rope around the whole game and never use it. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
I think there is also some element that might be hurting me of like the whole I don't want to start this over from the beginning because you're saying you want to explore until you're like you can't do anything. And maybe that is it. Like you're supposed to have this idea of like, yeah, just leave shit everywhere. It doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck, right? Eventually you're gonna find room and be like, I bet I could use the rope for that. And then when you replay it, you'll use the rope
mhm.
for that. And it really does not take long to get anywhere if you made a map, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Like in my head, I'm just like, I don't want to start the game from the beginning. I kind of wish that you couldn't restart if you died, like, because that just like when you die and then you lose some points, but then you can regather your stuff and come back and see, but then maybe you can't progress. Like I wish it literally was just like you're dead. You're dead and that's it. Right? Start again. I don't know. It cuz it makes me not want to start again if I can just die and come back. I want to stay on the same world.
Yeah, I get that. I do think, I don't know, because I did the same thing in Cave Adventure and this game. I restarted several times where
Mhm.
I just went like, I feel like I've kind of hit a wall, or I like, or my lamp is burnt out would be a big one.
Mhm.
Oh, my lantern's burned out. I just have no idea in this game if there's somewhere to find new batteries or whatever. So let me just start over, because in 3 minutes I'll just go beep 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 and save. And okay, now I have like a save point where I was. I kind of liked restarting because it just felt like, let me like, now I
Mhm.
know for sure the things that I know how to do. I've done them, no mistakes. We're back at a good point. We can continue on, you know?
Mhm. And I think that is what you're supposed to do. I might have had fewer problems if I just restarted every time I had any kind of an issue.
You're too stubborn.
I am too stubborn.
How long? It took me a while to figure out how to just, that you had to move the rug to get into the actual cave.
Yeah, that took me well, okay, so I almost immediately found the trapdoor under the rug.
Okay.
But then I was just like, okay, so there's a grate that's locked. I found that almost immediately too.
Yeah.
And I was like, so if I could find a key or something, I could open it. There's a chimney that I can't go down unless I'm Santa, so maybe there's some way down there. And there's a trapdoor under the rug. And clearly I'm supposed to go down one of these. Um, the problem is the rug, if you lift it up, it's like too heavy, so you immediately put it down. So I was trying different ways to like take it or prop it up with something. Or like, oh, you can put multiple commands in the same line, so maybe like look under the rug and open the door or something in the same
Mm.
thing. I was trying a lot of these, and I did when I eventually moved the rug. I just said move rug, and it worked. I was like, okay, I swear I tried that. This is one of the other issues
This
with.
is very common with you, I think.
Yeah, I think that this is one of those things where it says like where when it says, "Hey, if you're trying the same thing and it's not working, you're on the wrong track." I think it's very common, at least with me, to be all like, "Okay, there's something very simple that I missed, but I thought I hit all the simple things, so now I'm trying all these complicated things and they're not working." And I just needed to try like, it's like there were three simple options and I missed the one that I needed. So, it's like I'm not on the wrong track. Definitely can't take that as God. The only way you can take that as gospel is if there's only one easy way to do it, period, and there's no possible other way you could do it, which is just not the case because, you're using language.
This really, we really need to play one of these together because I really think this is a two heads are better than one
Oh yeah. Oh
situation.
yeah. I think we would have gotten much farther if we were playing this
So,
together.
yes, it sounds like so many of our issues are
Yeah.
like that the other person was like, oh, I just did this.
Yeah, no, I think that would, because like how I can imagine just being at this rug and you being like, why don't you just type move rug? And I'll be like, I did that already. And you'd be like, no, you didn't. And I'd be like, I swear I did that. All right, let me try. Oh, like it would
Yeah,
happen immediately.
I moved the rug. That was like the first thing I tried, but it took me a long time to think to look
Mm.
under the rug.
Yeah,
It wasn't until like wandering a lot.
almost the first thing I did was look under the rug. And I couldn't
Yeah,
figure out
see?
how to get into the stupid trap door.
Yeah, that's really something. That's really something. Um, uh, there is, as you just mentioned it, one of the innovations of Zork
Hmm.
is that you can type in multiple commands at once.
Hmm.
So instead of saying take this, then take this, then take this as three separate actions, you could just say take all or take and then write a list of what you want to take from the room or drop what you want to drop. Or you can even type in multiple directions. If you have a map and you know where you need to go, you can just type north, south, east, southeast as one line, press enter, and it will do it all automatically.
Mm.
I never really did this.
I probably should have done that with the directions. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because I did this a couple times, but not really. I think I could have done this with the directions because like I said, there were long stretches where I would often just navigate between rooms without looking at my computer because I had a map I was following instead.
There's something about it that just feels wrong to me that
Mm.
or maybe I'm scared. I mean, the game will stop you if if you ran into an enemy or something or you went the wrong way, it will tell you. But I don't know. My brain is like doesn't feel confident enough that I'm
Mm.
going to be correct. I want to do it step by step still just to be like, okay, that was in this room again. And by that same token, I don't know about you. I always turned verbose mode on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, where it gives you the full descriptions every time, where by default, if you've been in a room already, it will not give you the full description. But I'm like, I don't remember. I want to
Yeah,
read everything every time.
yeah. I mean, it's so weird to me because it was very common for me to be like, I'm in a room. I read the description. I tried like five things. So now we've scrolled the description off the screen. And I want to see if there's something else to do in this room. So now I'm going to look around again just because I want that description on screen so I can be like, is there a thing in
Hmm.
here I can look at? Am I missing
Yeah.
something? Yeah, it's so weird to me to not want to always look at the description of the room.
Yeah. This is for people, I guess, who are really they knew what they were doing
I
better
guess.
than we did.
Yeah, you just immediately solve every puzzle. So you're like, yeah, I don't need to know anything in that room. I know for sure I did everything in it.
How about fighting this troll
Hmm. So
early on? Yeah.
yeah, the first thing that I did, I didn't want to carry a heavy sword around with me. So the first thing I did when I went into the room, also, there's a sword in the trophy case room. So the first thing I did was I'm gonna put that sword in the trophy case. That's probably worth points or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna take the sword with me. I went down, I found the troll before I found the way back up, and I died to it. And I was like, obviously, I need the sword. I did not restart the game because I didn't die. I just recollected my stuff and took the sword out of the trophy case, went back down and killed it. I did not have a problem with that.
It oh, was the sword a treasure?
I don't know. I just put it in the trophy case and then took it
Well, did
out.
it give you you didn't notice if it gave you points
I
when you did
wasn't really
that?
paying that much attention, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
care
no,
about the points.
I okay, yeah, we got that theme has been made very clear. You're
I
not a
don't
good
give a
gamer.
shit about points.
I'm gonna fucking teach you to care about points, you little bastard. You're gonna sit in this room until you get a high score. No fucking dinner for you. Now, it does seem that the combat in this game, as far as I can tell, is just completely random.
Mhm,
I don't. So, like, when you attack, the first time I attacked this troll, and you write attack troll with sword,
mhm,
and sometimes it'll be like, your attack missed. And sometimes
mm,
it'll go, you hit him, and he's dead. And sometimes it'll go, he's unconscious, but then he'll wake up again, like the next
mm.
turn, if you stay there.
Interesting. Yeah,
But of course, you didn't experience this, I guess, since you just did the one playthrough and just got lucky, it sounds like.
yeah, well, I mean, I went through them twice because I had to go through them again the second time. And it
Okay.
seems like I basically like the first time I think I got like he attacked I like tried to hit him with a I don't know. But like I ended up attacking him like somehow from the back foot. Like he hit me and I staggered or something because I think I looked around first. And
Hmm.
so I just when I went to attack him, it didn't work, and I assumed it was because I was staggered last turn. And then I hit him, and it worked, and he was staggered, and I was like, I'll do it again. And then that time he died, and I was like, oh, so they're. I just assumed maybe you had to break their stride or some weird shit.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
the second time I played it, I attacked him first, and he staggered, and then I attacked him again, and he died, and I was like, I guess that's just how it works.
As far as I know, I don't know if there is a way how it works because sometimes it would take me 6 moves, sometimes 2.
Hmm.
And sometimes he would just kill me. And I was like, oh, I died.
Huh.
I have to start over. I have no, it does not seem to me that there's a rhyme or reason to it other than using the correct weapon.
Right.
Um, so that's sort of I just would save before that room just in case. And one thing I also like in this game is you can type again or
Mm.
G to just repeat the last action you did.
Yeah, I probably
So
should have
like
been
what
doing that with that troll.
yeah, that's what when I would fight the troll, I would just type
Yeah.
G G G until it died.
GG's.
G G G. Same with the thief who is more annoying and apparently from what I've read you kind of shouldn't
Mm.
deal with him until later and he's just bad news, but there maybe is a better maybe you should use the knife against him instead of the sword or something, but
Yeah, I
just
like
don't cuz
tried fighting him one time. The sword, I like swung at him with the sword and he just dodged it. So I attacked with the knife and it seemed like it worked better, but then I still lost the fight anyway. And I was not sure what was up there. And I think at that point I was near the end of my patience. So I was like spamming just save and reload. So I just reloaded from not that far away.
mhm.
And I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't kill
also
this thief.
yeah, I mean, also at that point, I wasn't really making progress. I was just wandering around trying to find anything. So I was like, yeah, I actually don't mind saving and reloading because I didn't do anything. But
Right. I also could not figure out how to get into Hades.
yes, I got the spirits to tell me to reread the manual, and I did
Yeah.
read
This
some of the
happened to
sections of the
me
manual. But
every time I tried to talk to somebody because that is
yeah,
unlike Cave Adventure, you can talk to people in this game
hmm
to some extent and you can like say specific things. And they even have a section in the manual about how you could have someone with you and tell them to do something for you.
hmm
No idea if or when this becomes relevant. But every time I tried to talk to somebody, I felt like it said, "Oh, you should reread the manual," and I was like, "What? I don't. What am I doing wrong?" I say talk. I try to say something specific. I couldn't really figure out what they wanted me to do.
hmm, yeah, I don't know.
When you tried to attack the spirits, it would say
Yeah, it
you
didn't
can't.
work.
Why you need something? Why would you think you could do that with a material
Yeah,
object? So I just assumed I needed to find some other
yeah.
item.
I tried. I There was a bottle of water that you get, and I tried
Yeah.
using it. I was like, maybe it's holy water, and it told me nice try, but it didn't work.
Yeah, there are some fun, you know, answers to things that aren't real things you should do. If you type scream, the game just goes arg.
That's pretty good.
And I also what else? Oh, I did try typing XYZZY.
I tried that too. I think I tried that actually. I tried both that and Plu in the platinum bar
Mm-hmm.
room.
Yeah. Now for me, it said a hollow voice says "fool"
Mm.
when I did that.
I did it in the echo room, so it just repeated my thing. I was trying to.
Oh, okay. Now
It's too
those both
bad.
of those are listed in the hint as words, but I'm not sure if there's something beyond just a guy saying you're a fool.
Yeah, probably they don't do anything.
But I did. I like I said, I did. I missed the Zizzy. I thought that was actually all
Hmm.
things considered, a pretty generous mechanism in Cave Adventure. But I think I just didn't get to the better shortcuts yet in this game.
Yeah, like I'm
Um,
pretty sure if you just like if you're restarting it takes you like maybe 5 actions to get the lantern and get down into the
I mean,
trapdoor.
if you know enough, you could literally type out the entire
That's
first
true.
10 minutes of this game in one line and just go. You could have that in your clipboard and just be ready for it.
Hmm.
I guess the real problem is that troll. I am, you know, you're looking at the hint book. It does seem like we saw a lot of the stuff that's in the game.
Hmm.
I did not find the coal mine.
No, I did not find that. I
I
did
think
not
I think
find
some of
the.
these things were in the dome room. We had to climb down.
Yeah. I think if I had spent a little more time in the dome room because I was trying the rope, I probably would have figured that one out, and then I might have found a little bit more. But
Correct me if I'm
it's
wrong.
a
I don't recall, but I don't think Cave Adventure had a move counter, or did it?
uh, it definitely did, but I think it was hidden.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
the move counter was tied to when your lantern burned out.
Sure. Like, yes, definitely
Hmm.
internally, but yeah,
Yeah,
but in Zork, it's at the top of the
it just
screen,
tells you. Yeah.
constantly telling you, which I do think adds a little bit of pressure. It kind of makes you feel more like, oh, what does the
Hmm.
number of moves, does that lower my score, or is something going to kill me if I am not fast
Mm.
enough? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's we got to talk about the Grue.
Yeah, I did not get myself killed by a grue because it was too easy not to.
You'd never played long enough for your lamp to die?
My lamp never died. No.
Hmm. Feels like I feel like that's wrong.
Well, I don't know. I did turn off my lamp when I was in lit areas.
Hmm. Hmm. I sometimes did that, but usually I was like, I don't fucking have time for that.
I mean,
But I
it
think,
could also be
yeah,
that just after having mapped out a lot of the area, I was just making a beeline through it. I don't know.
yeah. Once my lamp did fully run out. I think probably I don't remember what areas I was in, and I just restarted because obviously I just had no idea if there was a way to refuel it yet. And I think once I just for fun just wanted to see what
Hmm.
happens, and I got eaten by Gru.
Hmm. I was
And
thinking maybe I should do it for the meme, but I don't know.
I mean, this is kind of well, at least in meme culture,
Mhm.
one of the biggest legacies of this game is
Yeah.
this phrase, "You have been eaten by a Gru," or even when you turn your lamp, or if you go
Yeah.
into a dark place, it says you are likely to be eaten by a Gru.
Yeah, that I did see.
And there is no description of what a Gru is.
There is, it turns out.
Well, you can ask it what a Gru is.
Yes, I did do that.
What does it say? I don't remember.
I don't quite remember, but it basically
But it
says it's
doesn't literally
yeah.
describe it physically.
Yeah, it basically just says like it's a little underground gremlin thing, or it doesn't say gremlin thing. It lives in the dark and it eats you, and it's yeah, it's evil.
It is. I mean, I do think it's kind of effectively scary, the screw.
Mm, I do
I
like the
like that
Gru.
it's, yeah, that just the idea that you don't really know, but
Yeah.
if you just turn your light off, a grew's gonna eat you.
Yeah,
It's
I
out
mean,
there.
I do like that. That is fun. Like, in Cave Adventure, if your lights off, you'll probably slip and fall in a hole and die, I guess. But I do like here that if your lights out, the Gru will eat you, because it implies that the Gru is just around, but he just isn't in the light. He won't eat you if you have light.
Yeah,
I
he's
like
like,
that. It's a little mythological.
well, so there's a great story behind this.
Hmm.
Initially, it was like Cave Adventure, you just fall into a pit.
Hmm.
But what happened was it didn't always make sense because, for instance, you might go into the attic,
Yeah.
and why would there be a pit in the attic? So they just changed it to a grue.
Hmm. Now,
And that's the grue.
I have to assume that I know what GRU stands for, what GRU means, why they called it a
Right.
GRU.
Right. It seems to stem from the Great Underground Empire.
Yes, which has to do with the backstory of this game, and what is it? Dates are given in like GUE for Great Underground Empire,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to assume that GRU is from the same thing, which could mean that a GRU is perhaps some kind of wraith or zombie from the days of old.
Could mean that.
You know what I mean? Like this is an old a noble or citizen from the great underground empire who now just lives in the dark, feasts on unweary explorers.
Right. We should also talk about the word Zork, which apparently was just a word that was used as a placeholder for an unfinished file. I
Huh.
think that they just made it up as,
Oh, a
you know,
Zork.
the actual origin, like why that word, I don't know, but I think it was just sort of an inside thing where they were like, it's like calling your
Yeah.
file first draft. It was just, it's a Zork, and people on the school network played it under that name, and it just kind of stuck, and it's Zork, even though it has no,
A
I don't,
100% I see it. This is exactly the sort of thing that a loser, nerdy 18-year-old does as an inside joke with their friends. I make up a dumb sounding nonsense word and then we just say it sometimes because it's funny. And then now that's what I called the file because I didn't know what to call it.
it's good though.
Yeah, it is good.
Zork.
I like it.
It's a good word. And I like a title that has nothing to do with the
Yeah,
game.
straight Zorking it. Now, is there it feels like it should have something to do with the history of the Great Underground Empire because the currency was Zorkmids, and a lot of the rulers had weird ass names, but I don't recall any of them being called Zork or the word Zork actually coming up in the history at any point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all of that stuff was definitely after the game was made.
Sure, 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 sure. Yeah, but you can
Well,
make it.
listen, I want to talk all about the history of the Zork Empire, what
Hmm.
have you.
Hmm.
But maybe we should just do our ratings and final thoughts before we dive into that. You
Mm.
think?
So we do ratings and final thoughts early, and then we spend forever on the stupid ass manual.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 10 minutes doesn't have to be that long.
Oh, I have 2 hours worth of content.
For sure. Right. I feel like I don't know. It's hard for me to gauge. I mean, we've been talking
Hmm.
about this for 90 minutes, well, minus box art and stuff,
Hmm.
but about as long as we've talked about other games on the podcast. But
Hmm.
it's sort of still, I don't know. I have this feeling like I don't know that I gave Zork a fair shake or the shake it deserved in terms of how much of it I experienced, although I'm pretty sure I experienced as much or more as I did of Cave Adventure. Um, but I don't. But here we are at any rate. So what? So what are your? How do you feel about it, and what's your IGN rating?
All right, so I will say one thing that we sort of touched on, but I think makes a huge difference. Like we didn't really talk about it in depth. Is the degree to which rooms have descriptions, because this makes such a huge difference in the gameplay between this and Colossal Cave Adventure. Even though there's a lot of similarities in terms of like, oh, I get to move here, I get to move there. Um, just the descriptions of the passageways have a little bit more wording in them. There's a lot more. It's a lot easier to get into an area that has some kind of a branching pathway that has some kind of description to it. Like almost immediately, I can go multiple paths, and they all have descriptions rather than I'm kind of on this one path and then oops, I got stuck in the maze every time. Um, and this made or even the overworld, right? The forest here, the fact that the edges of the forest had different descriptions, there were different areas in the forest. It wasn't just like immediately you're in the woods. Okay, that's the whole description. It felt like being in a world to a far greater degree than Cave Adventure did, especially like right off the bat at the beginning. Um it also felt like because you could explore the house, right? You weren't stuck right at the beginning like, "What do I do?" Like, you're doing things. Um, for this reason, this game automatically is just a lot more fun to play than Cave Adventure. Um, even though there might be some, like, weirdo like fun things in the cave adventure, like the mirror room that you could figure out. In this one there's a mirror room and there's a mirror in it and you can look in it, you can see it. um to me it has a lot of similarities with cave adventure, but it feels bigger and it feels more in depth and it feels immersive. And so even though it is a knockoff of cave adventure in a lot of ways, the experience of playing it for me is significantly improved. So I have to rate it higher than Cave Adventure for sure. No question on that. That being said, yeah, maybe I needed to give it more time or come back to it. I feel like I could have liked this game a lot more. But it's just not gonna hit the like truly great games. It's gonna go in this kind of wide gulf for me that I have in between uh Cave Adventure and the really highly rated games. I think that I am gonna give Zork, let's give it a 6.5.
Wow. 6.5, that is the same score I gave to Cave Adventure.
Okay, okay. It is, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and maybe I would have liked it better if I'd figured out how to get into Hades or whatever, but maybe not. I don't know.
I really wonder what our discussion of this game would be like if we hadn't played Cave Adventure first.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It would make a massive difference, I think,
Mhm.
because it you laid out a lot of my own overall thoughts on this game. It's having played Colossal Cave Adventure already, it's impossible to discuss this without framing them both together because it's just so clearly a response to that game.
Mhm.
And I do agree it is objectively better for all the reasons you said. It is easier to play. It recognizes far more verbs. The world is more well developed. It's more immersive. The rooms are better described. It's much more user friendly, even though, and this is all for, it's not like, oh, this was 5 years later. This was, they improved on that game like 6 months later. They were like, we can do this better. And they did. So I do agree. I mean, it has to be better than Cave Adventure, but at the same time, Cave Adventure is a hamburger, and Zork is a cheeseburger.
Mhm.
And do I like a hamburger with cheese better than plain? Yeah, I do. But if the guy who goes, "Hey, I invented a new thing. It's the cheeseburger." I'm
Mhm.
still gonna be looking at him like, oh, you just took the hamburger and put cheese on it. Like, I know what you did. Don't act like
Mhm.
you made this. It's a hamburger. You just put cheese on it. So like I don't know. There's still a part of me that's like it's so derivative. I mean, it's even to the point where the thief is basically just the pirate, right?
Mhm.
From the first game. There's all these little things that are it's fine. I'm not like mad about it, but I don't want to give him too much credit. And for some reason, this is the one that got all the credit. You know, if you look on the Wikipedia and read about like the legacy of this game, all these different publications, basically everybody cites Zork as the grandfather of text adventures in the massively influential game. And I'm like, sure, but 80% of Zork already existed in Cave Adventure. Like it was there. They just made it better to play, but they didn't really invent that much new. Like if you gave William Crowther, some more time and money to make Cave Adventure 2 or whatever, I'm sure he probably would have made a lot of the same innovations. He didn't. If you were in the inventors of Zork, you would have invented Zork, as they say.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of like, I do like it, but it does feel like, well, we did this already. I've been here before. I've seen this cave before, man.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna give it. I don't know. Maybe a 6.8.
So you are still going higher. You're not gonna drop a couple points because most of this
No,
stuff was already done.
I am still gonna say, like, again, objectively,
Mhm.
as a pure play experience, there's no doubt Zork is better than Cave Adventure.
Mhm.
And I have a fondness for both of these games. But it's mostly in a wow, isn't this a neat lens into the past more than it is such a joy for me to experience and play. But, 6.8 is like pretty decent score, I think. It's like pretty
Mhm.
good, all things considered. Considered how dated this game is and how frustrating it can be. I think that's just fine. So that's Zork, and of course there's Zork 2 and 3. And maybe someday we'll get to those. Let's talk a little bit about The Great Underground Empire: A History by Frobaz Mumbar.
Is Frobaz from Colossal Cave Adventure? I swear there was some kind of company name or something that you could get there.
There was a company name. I don't think it was Frobaz,
Mm.
but you do meet a wizard named like either Frobaz or something similar in Zork 2, or maybe it's Zork 3. And it's very possible that that became a meme in the same way as Gru, and maybe you have heard that name elsewhere.
Could be. I mean, that just the construction of that name. Actually, what Frobaz really sounds like is it doesn't even sound like what it sounds like a hitchhiker's. What it sounds like is, and I think I might have briefly mentioned this on our other podcast or Patreon or something. But did you ever read any Daniel Pinkwater books when you were a kid?
I know that name, and I feel like you have maybe
Yeah.
referenced him to me before.
Yeah, probably that's it then, like once. This sounds like a thing that would have shown up in one of his stories. It's like, oh, and then I picked up Frobaz Cola. It's the third most popular cola in the state, or something like that, after Pepsi and Coke, but only here in this state or something like that. And it sounds like a bullshit, stupid word that he made up in one of his stories like Borgle or Yobgorgle, which are both real names of real books that he wrote.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe kind of what's his name? Terry Pratchett,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Discworld kind of
That
it's all
could
kind of
be.
the same
Yeah, I
thing.
haven't I haven't read those, so I can't tell it because like it's not like the because like he didn't do the Pinkwater didn't really do the fantasy stuff. It's just the way the word rolls off the tongue. It sounds like that.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, yeah. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Frobos. I was asking if Frobos was from. I think we were talking
Yeah.
about the Great Underground Empire.
So in this instruction manual for Zork, there is a multi-page. It's as if you picked up a textbook from the Zork library, including a literal little library. I don't know what you call that. Not a like a record of the dates the book was taken out, and you can read. And I read this all before playing the game.
Yeah, same.
It's not very long. It's like 4 chapters, but they're each 1 page or 2 pages long. And I was reading this going, wow, this is so in depth. This is crazy. I'm learning so much. It's really prepping me for the history of this world. And then, of course, you play Zork, and it's like none of this exists in that game.
Yes, I do think this would have had the score on this would have easily started with a 7 if the game made more reference to this. There are occasional points where you might read a guidebook and it'll give some references to this, but if there were more just like, there's a statue of King Dimwit Flathead in the room with you, right? I would have lost my shit.
Yeah, it would have been fun. Yeah, there's all these different dynasties, and they explain why this underground area you're exploring exists. It was right. It was like they went underground because this one king just wanted to rule more kingdoms, so he created it. Am I remembering that?
Was that Duncanthrax?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Duncanthrax, the bellicose.
The bellicose. Yeah, he conquered all of the lands around Quendor, and then he was like, "Oh, but I could massively expand the territory if I also dug tunnels and conquered the underground. So that's why there's all these tunnels."
It would even go such a long way if, in the beginning of the game, it just gave you some kind of, you came here for this and you are from this and it's this time and place, instead of just there's a house.
Yeah, and imagine if instead of a house with a trophy case, there was like there was like there was a cart where you start, and your scholarly professor says go investigate those ruins instead of a house. Instead of bringing them to the trophy case, you bring the treasures to the cart. And every time you bring a treasure to the cart, rather than getting a score increase, your professor assesses it and says, this is an egg from whatever dynasty. Okay, cool.
Wow.
I did it. Now I don't need to have it. I don't know. Yeah.
We can't
I can say that.
You can't say no. We can't. I can say that. You can't do. No, you can.
I can say that if I want. And then instead of a house, it's ruins. And so when you find the trap door under the ruins, you're like, ooh. But like you know what I mean? You're an archaeology student or something.
Well, it sounds like what you're saying is we need to make, I don't know, Pling Blop.
Yeah.
And just just do exactly what they did.
Rip off Zork, yeah.
Just make a way better Zork.
That's right. That's easy. What we need to do, yeah.
Because all these ideas are punch-ups for sure. It would just be nice to have some kind of, in-game guide and acknowledgement that what you're doing matters. Maybe you can read this rule book, this instruction history in the game. Maybe you can discover this stuff organically. And then you're like, oh, I'm uncovering the history of this kingdom instead of just doing a bunch of shit for no reason.
Yeah, and can I tell you, when you say this thing is written like a textbook, fucking, you read chapter 1, the bellicose king here. Okay. Yeah. And then before you get to chapter 2, it gives you questions, discussions, projects, and further readings.
Now, these are the best part.
I love these so much. Right, for chapter 1, I just read off all of these here. For chapter 1, number 1, would you have left a job as a rope salesman to become king of Quendor? List the pros and cons. Ooh, what about 3? Do you think that Duncanthrax was a mean king for attacking other kingdoms? What other reasons besides meanness might he have had? Like, you can tell students made this.
Yeah, and then it like devolves or
Yeah.
evolves depending on how you want to frame it until the one of
Yeah.
the last ones is collect several horses for yourself and your classmates. Ride through the center of your town, pillaging stores, burning homes, and slaughtering young children and old women. Afterwards, ask people around town what it was like to live in a lawless state.
These are great. I love these.
They are really good, and it like I feel like I want there to be puzzles hidden in this text.
Mhm, mhm.
I want this to be important somehow, and you should have to reference this and use this. That would be so satisfying. And I think there are modern examples of puzzle games, sort of perhaps the modern descendants of Zork,
Mhm.
that do things in that vein. Even like Blueprints is a very recent puzzle game where you walk around this big mansion and solve these elaborate puzzles. And there's a library where there are history books and some of those things you need to know in other areas of the house that I feel is very reminiscent of this.
Yeah, yeah. Or like I'm looking at this and there's Zork mids in one of these questions. And there's a bit where you can read about Zork mids in the game and you can ask what are Zork mids and learn that they're the currency. Why can't I get like when you get that bag of coins,
Mm,
why isn't it a bag of Zork mids?
great question. Then
Yeah.
the answer is because they made this shit
Yeah.
all up afterwards.
Yeah, they made this shit up. All of the reading stuff doesn't matter. They just threw it in there when they were done. It needs to be integrated.
I have to wonder because even beyond Zork 2 and 3, there are other Zork games.
Mhm.
And I wonder if any of this stuff was ever integrated into them. So there's so many of these. There's Beyond Zork, which came out in 1987. Some of these I think weren't all just pure text adventures, but I'm not sure. Beyond Zork added more combat and a map and stuff. Then there was Zork Zero, which has graphics and mini
Whoa.
games.
Holy shit.
Then there's Return to Zork, um, which has a demon-like entity in it. I don't know. I'm just reading the basic descriptions here. There's Zork Nemesis, which it says is less comical than previous Zork games.
It's not hard.
A Zork Grand Inquisitor. I think I've even skipped some. There's a lot of Zork games.
Well, maybe we should have done a Zork cast. Why did we do this stupid video game shit?
There's more Zork for us to explore if we want to, and if listeners want us
Yeah.
to. Sticking to this instruction manual, I do also just want to say that another point over Colossal Cave Adventure, it does do a very good job. It has examples, verbs the game recognizes. It does a good job walking you through it, explaining what this will be. And even for us, I did feel like having played Cave Adventure, it was like we were ready for this in many ways. And maybe if we had played this first, it would have been even more of a frustrating experience. I don't know. Or maybe we should have played this first and then Cave Adventure second, because then you're like, oh, well, they didn't tell me about the trophy case, but I get it. It's Zork.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I
like,
don't know.
yeah, that would have been, yeah, interesting. That would have been a thing. I forget, does this have a list of moves? It does. Yes. So the way I actually figured out how to get into the trapdoor through the rug was in fact looking at a list of words that I could use, and I think I used the one
Mm,
here in the manual, not even in the helpful tips guide. And I was just like,
yeah.
I'm gonna go through and like try these starting from most likely to work to least likely.
Yeah.
And
Well,
move
yeah,
worked all right off the
I,
bat.
I really I don't know how or when we're going to do it as a
Mhm.
streaming thing or just as a bonus thing, but I really do want to do Zork, maybe Zork itself, just like a
Mhm.
co-op playing this together or
Co-op
some
all
other
of
text
Zork.
adventure games. Yeah, because it really, I said it with Cave Adventure too, but I really think that's the way to play these. That
Mhm.
maybe not for like usually with puzzle games, I do like to do them by myself because I don't want someone else to solve a puzzle for me. I like the satisfaction of doing it myself. But these games, some of them are just so obscure and dumb that I'm like, I'll take all the help I can get.
Yeah, I
So
don't mind doing it with another person as long as that other person isn't gonna like go run to an answer sheet, right? Like I don't,
sure.
because there is something nice about the idea that's like, something is always getting solved, right? Like you run up to a puzzle and you just can't fucking figure it out, but the other person, bam, and now, okay, cool. Now I'm not stuck here. But then we get to the point and they're stuck and I get to get through it and now I get to feel very smart because, so like you're kind of always moving, always doing something and I wouldn't mind that.
Now I do have some classic reviews of Zork.
Ooh, classic reviews.
Yeah, from back in the day.
Mhm. Mhm.
For instance, here's one from Byte Magazine.
Oh, I thought maybe you were
BYTE.
gonna I thought maybe you were
Hmm?
gonna do these take their words for it from the start of the manual.
I
We'll
mean,
go
you
over
can
some of
read.
those. We'll go over some of
You
those
can.
too, but let's hear about Byte
Sure,
magazine.
sure. We can read some of those. Yeah. But these are from the era of Zork. This review here from Byte Magazine. One of the things they remark upon is the fact that Zork has a save function,
Hmm.
which they say, while some cowards use it to retain their hard-earned position in the game before making some dangerous move, the true purpose of this command is to let you follow the game through to its ultimate end, which may take weeks, or as protection against losing your position due to, say, a brief power failure. Just love them explaining what a save is.
I also love that a brief power failure is gonna like knock out your computer here. Everything was so fragile back then.
Zork comes on a write-protected single-density 5-inch disc, with what appears to be its own operating system doing the booting and initialization. The disk defied examination by the most sophisticated methods available to me. I don't know what that means. I hope that personal software will be able to foil the software pirates and traders for a while. The disk seems to be absolutely uncopyable, so this is a shill for
Mm,
he's fighting piracy. I guess that was maybe a big thing at the time. I mean,
yeah,
it still
maybe.
is, but I don't know. Loading and preparing for play is simple enough. Merely insert the Zork disk into drive 0 and press the reset button of your computer. This is in the middle of the review. They're telling you how to run it.
It is interesting. The way he's describing it. Yeah, you reset it. Zork boots itself. It does sound like it has its own operating system. That's
Very
crazy.
strange. I could read this whole review. This is I have a dozen of these, but I find it fascinating. This adventure begins in a beautiful forest near a large white house that is boarded up in an obvious attempt to keep explorers out. I managed to get into the house through the front once, but I was plunged into darkness and eaten by a monster called a grue. It's like he's just going through. It's just I don't know. I just love reading this
It does make me
description of
feel
his
a little
adventure.
bit better hearing him say it could take weeks to finish, and I did manage to get
Yeah,
into the house at one point. Right? It's like, okay,
right.
maybe I didn't do so bad.
Yeah, this says it concludes. I've been to Zork today. Tomorrow I will take a friend. Together we will unwrap the cloaks of mystery surrounding this most excellent and memorable work of computerized fiction.
Oh
And when
my
we have
god.
extracted from this land every drop of adventuring that can be obtained, we will likely not be kept waiting. A sequel is nearing completion, even as this is being written.
This guy is such a fucking loser. Oh my god.
That's
Just
right,
want to
Bob
stuff him in a
Little
locker.
from Peterborough, New Hampshire. You're, fuck you.
I didn't say fuck you. I just said he's a loser.
Oh, oh,
That's fine. Some people are losers, you know? It takes all sorts.
yeah. That's I agree. So, some may be on this very podcast.
It's fully possible.
Here's this review from Soft Talk magazine. says, oh, I lost my place. Now, a bunch of these seem to not only acknowledge the similarities to Cave Adventure, but even refer to Zork as if it is simply meant to be a remake of that game, which it
It
kind
kind
of
of
is.
is, yeah.
This says Zork seems right on par with the original. In fact, it appears to be somewhat more complex and adds some flavor with clues and possessions that your own general knowledge can help to manipulate. And then he references some stuff I never even saw. On the other hand, if some of the locations seem a bit contrived, the great number of them makes up for that. The mere fact that in Zork you have at least a second real logical epic adventure to conquer makes pale any objection to the similarity of tone and atmosphere to those of the original adventure. What the fuck?
He
I hate these
basically
people.
yeah, sure, it's the same game, but there's more of it, so fuck off. It's better now.
And also, but Zork surpasses original adventure with one giant leap. Until now,
One
until Zork,
giant leap.
all adventures limited the player to 2-word input.
Yes.
In contrast, in Zork, you can not only say kill fiend with battle axe whenever you like, you can actually tell it attack the lousy fiend with the battle axe and kill the fiend with the sword and take the treasure. So that, maybe that's something we take for granted a little bit, but was a big leap.
Yeah, it did feel nice being able to use prepositions.
Yeah. Not me. I fucking hate prepositions. All right. I don't need to read any more of these, but needless to say,
yeah,
Zork was a big deal at the time. People, what's even more fascinating to me is that people had enough time with the Colossal Cave Adventure already to refer to it like we all know adventure.
Yeah.
Like this was for such a niche audience of the dorks who knew this shit.
There was one thing that existed, and this was written for, 15 people, so of course they all know it.
Yeah. You won't believe what's changing in the world of Zork. You want to talk about some of these other reviews you have?
Oh, I love these. These are in the manual. So, the Detroit Free Press says, "The Star Wars of interactive computer adventure games, a sophisticated entertainment that touches the intellect as well as the adrenal glands." Mike Oppenheim, MD, from How Zork Took Over My Life, writes, "As I typed 'read the leaflet,' I felt the hair on my neck prickle. I remembered having the same sensation on first reading Edgar Allan Poe at age 11. It was as if a little voice were saying, 'This is creepy and weird, but don't put it down.' I barely noticed my wife tiptoe out of the room."
Now, some of these sound like just straight jokes, but that one I believe.
Because his wife left him, and that that's why you believe it.
I do, but I do feel like, yeah, if you played this in 1977 or even 1980, you probably were like, holy fuck. I mean, this probably did blow your goddamn mind. This level of interaction, sure, why not? In a video game was, I mean, it was fucking crazy. I probably would have been like, this is Edgar Allan Poe. And I would have told my wife to get the fuck out.
How about 14,
not tonight, honey.
14-year-old Diane from Omaha says, "Nice big vocabulary, mind-boggling situations, and logical thinking. I can use my brain."
I think these are real.
They might be.
I do think they collected these from real people.
They could be.
I love them.
The program is so lifelike, I find myself talking to it. This was like the original ChatGPT.
You know what? I'm changing my score to a 9. I love Zork.
Zork mode.
I do love the idea of Zork, maybe more than Zork itself. I love what it represents.
Mhm.
It's just hard. It's hard to go back to this era in
Y
some
You
ways.
just need, like, a good Zork, and yet you yell at me for not going back to it enough.
Yeah, you just you're bad in a special, unique way. You did a bad job.
There needs to be a good Zork. We need to punch up Zork. There probably is a good Zork among all the Zorks that there are.
Yeah, and of course there's, hundreds of other text adventures even from this
Well,
era that
there are
that
no
change these
Zork.
things. I do want to maybe not for the show, but in my personal time play some of these because I've played some of these other Infocom games. They have some horror ones that I think are pretty cool, but I think I never quite clicked with them because I would just get frustrated and lost and confused and things would happen like you'd run out of moves and die or whatever and I didn't know why. And now that
Mm.
having played Cave Adventure and Zork, I feel like I can handle anything they would throw at me.
Mm.
I think I'm ready for them now.
Well, maybe we can co-op some at some point. You can get your
This will
co-op
be a whole
adventure.
series. Yeah, I think this will be good. There's something I like. There's something kind of romantic about the capital R. About like imagine being in a cabin lit by candlelight in the middle of a stormy night, and you just have a laptop with a text adventure on it.
Sure.
To me, that sounds cool.
A cabin on a stormy night.
Yeah, like you're in like a cabin in the woods. There's a fire in the fireplace.
I mean, like, I get that if you're, like, reading a book. I don't know if I feel that with the text adventure.
Yeah, because you're just not a gamer like me.
Hmm.
Why
This is like a
read when you
score
can
thing.
game? It's not about the score, it's about agency. It's I'm on this adventure.
Hmm.
It's like a choose your own adventure book, see?
I see. I see. Okay.
Now you get it. Should we read an email or no?
No, fuck them.
Could save it for next week.
I mean, do we have an email? We probably should read it.
Yeah, we have an email. You want to read it?
Okay. I'm not gonna do it. You can do it.
This email. It's time for our MMO, massive mail opening.
Oh, right. I remember that.
This email comes to us from a new person
Ooh.
who goes by the name of Surface.
Surface?
Serphus. Surface. I guess it's probably like a gamer tag.
Yeah. No, obviously it's like, you gonna read it?
Oh, sure. Surface writes, "Hello, bad men. I saw your podcast recently being recommended on my YouTube sidebar with the Final Fantasy episode, and was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It's interesting to see the viewpoint from an, although not entirely, inexperienced person in video games, as most podcasts or YouTube videos are made with people who are already very experienced in playing them, so it's very refreshing. I'll definitely add this to my weekly rotation of regular podcasts, which is now a total of 2.
Whoa.
Now, on to 2 recommendations I have for you guys to cover, and that I'm very biased about as I'm a bit of an RPG nerd. The first game is, now I believe this is pronounced Ease, but I'm not actually sure. It's spelled YS. So if I'm saying it wrong, whatever, you can yell at me in the comments. The first game is Ease Book 1 and 2 for the TurboGrafx CD. They are technically 2 games, but they were always meant to be 1 game total, so I think it counts. The original was developed by Nihon Falcom for the PC-88. And they are very early Japanese developers for the PC market, known for their works on Dragon Slayer, specifically the second game, Xanadu, essentially popularizing the action RPG genre, and later for the Trails and Ease series, which are still ongoing today. Though this version was developed by Alpha System and published by Hudson, it's essentially one of the definitive versions of the game and one of the very first games to utilize the CD format with full-blown extended cutscenes, CD quality music, and voice acting, all in December 1989 in Japan and May 1990 in the US. It is a very influential game and sometimes overlooked, so it would be very cool if this gets covered. The second game is King's Field, created by From Software, now known for the Dark Souls series. It was the very first RPG on the PlayStation 1, released only 2 weeks after its launch, and one of the very first fully 3D RPGs. It's a very interesting game since this is From Software's first game after only making business software before that. While a bit clunky in its control scheme, it's still a very interesting and atmospheric game which sets some precedents for the much later Souls series. But even on its own, it's a very cool game. Side note, what is called King's Field in the West is actually King's Field 2, which was released a year later, as the first game was only released in Japan, but does have a fantastic fan translation, so be mindful of that. I'm going to pause here before reading the outro.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bulk of the email. First of all, thank you for your kind words.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy to get an algorithm, a YouTube algorithm, like, listener. Like, that's
Wow.
our first off the YouTube, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
that wrote in. Yeah.
But
The
that
system works.
it doesn't count if you don't write in. I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear from you and appreciate the RPG references because, as I've said, that is not my strongest area of expertise. And these are good recommendations. I don't know that I had an Ease game on the list, although I have heard of the franchise, so I will definitely make sure to try to get to that at some point. And I don't think I had King's Field maybe on the list either, but I am aware of it, and I do think that's very interesting one to check out from Software as being their first real game.
Maybe it's
I do think
pronounced
that's cool.
wise. You know, like
Maybe.
the word.
We could look it up.
Nah.
Pronounce ease. Yeah, I believe I'm correct. It's ease.
It
I'm
would have been a
correct.
good pun if it was wise.
I mean, would it?
Yeah. Like W-I-S-E, wise, but like also like plural of Y. You
Sure,
see?
but like, what's the pun?
That I just explained it. That's
But
the
I mean,
pun.
what is the like? Oh, yeah, it sounds like wise, but
Yeah.
that's but what's the other meaning of it?
That it's a Y.
What does that mean?
I don't know, you figure something out. It's not that hard. Put like a Y as a symbol in
It's
the game.
you can't just misspell something and say it's a pun.
Sure you can. Because like it's not even just a misspelling that you're talking about the letter, you know?
Like if I wrote the
Yeah.
number 8 instead of
Yeah.
ATE, would you
Yeah.
say that's a pun?
Kinda.
Well, you have to now if you want to stay consistent.
It sort of is.
We probably won't get to either of these for a little bit of time. They are a little bit later on in our timeline right now, but I will definitely put them on the list.
Wasn't one of them like 89 or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're basically there. We're jumping
You're
around
right.
that time.
We could get to around there. You're right. It might not be too far. Just gotta slot it in someplace.
Mhm.
And of course we have we have about 1,400 Gwen recommendations to get through.
We'll get there. Someday.
We also have I will be asking for more input on probably some RPG stuff in the weeks and months to come too, but this is nice to have. Surface concludes by saying, all in all, I can't wait for more episodes to listen to, and I hope you guys will have lots of interesting talks in the future. As of writing this email, I'm not sure which game you guys will be covering, but my guess is Metroid. With regards, Surface. Now, here's what's crazy about this.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, we're recording a day later than we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And had we recorded on time this week, on our usual time, this email wouldn't have been read until next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's only by happenstance that this email is being read so quickly after it coming in. And had that been the case, we would have read this next week, and next week's game is Metroid.
I feel like Surface needs a prize or something.
I feel like Surface needs to buy a lotto ticket. This is crazy. Like, what is I mean, Sure, there's maybe, only so many really iconic games. You could make some educated guesses, but
you could say that, but you have issues with being all, I keep being like, oh,
sure.
but like, maybe we should put in some newer things. And you're like, I have 3 years worth of iconic old games to put in. I don't know that you can say there's
Right.
only so many.
Right. I mean, there's only so many compared to, when you're thinking of like the big guns.
I guess, but like, we're also doing Zork.
Right. No, listen, I'm not trying to, I'm telling you, this is a very impressive.
Yeah.
Yes. It's crazy,
crazy
that
yeah, it is.
It's crazy. I can't believe that
No,
this guess is
Surface
this
gets
accurate.
a reward of some kind. We need to figure out some kind of prize.
The prize is that at some point we'll cover these two games. And we read their damn email. Took 15 minutes.
Yeah, but we need that for time. It's important.
Yeah, we really needed it. But there's your official announcement. Next week, we will be covering the NES original Metroid from 1986. Pretty big deal. Our first first-party Nintendo game since Zelda. Pretty exciting. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I don't want to get into it too much. And a reminder, next week, we are going to start our Patreon. Right now, you can sign up over there for free. So if you just want to make sure you're in on the ground floor, go to patreon.com/badwithgames. And you can email us if you want to hear what we think about something you say, or you want to recommend a game just like Surface did. badwithgamespodcast@gmail.com is the place to go. We're having a lot of fun, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of tired.
What we need is your encouragement to perk Will up a bit. Stop him from being fatigued. I'm tired of feeling like the disciplinarian on this show. I'd like to just have some fun.
I think we're having fun.
Look, these are there's some growing pains.
This will be a little bit of a genre shift, so maybe.
I mean, yeah,
exciting.
Maybe
it'll get the excitement back.
I have feelings about the original Metroid. I'm sure many people listening have feelings about it, but I'm not going to get into them. I'm going to let you experience it fresh.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I'm hype. I'm feeling the excitement. I'm gonna have a great time playing it. I'm gonna pick up a new game again, another new game, and I'll start another new one.
Good Lord.
Rather than sitting with an old one and taking my time with it. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Having a good week over here. And happy back to school season. And now, Zork mode deactivated.